Today's session is on a subject of immense relevance and impact: networking and industry engagement in the US business world. Before we begin, I would like to inform that the Office of Alumni Engagement is offering various courses exclusively for Christ alumni. One will be the business data analysis using Excel, learning advanced Excel functions, pivot tables, dashboards, and automation tools to analyze and visualize data effectively. Two, business intelligence, dashboarding, and reporting, gaining skills to design interactive dashboards and reports to provide actionable business insights. Three, machine learning and AI for business, understanding and applying AI and machine learning techniques to solve real world business challenges and improve decision making. Four, leadership communication, to develop strong communication, emotional intelligence, and storytelling skills to inspire and lead teams effectively. And five, Bloomberg certification, gets hands on training with Bloomberg tools to build expertise in finance, ESG, and analysis and investment strategy. To formally inaugurate the series and to share his reflections on the vision of the alumni engagement at Christ, I take great pleasure in inviting Brigadier Jagdish, Director, CPCG, and the Office of Alumni Engagement to deliver the introductory note.
Yeah, good morning and good evening to all of you. And it's a pleasure for me today to be part of this great event, the first of the series from the American chapter. And thank you very much, Finu ma'am, for being a mentor and organizing very good events. And thank you, Mr. Angad, for taking out your time and helping our students understand the various aspects of going to US and networking and all the things. We'll hear from you firsthand. That will be great. So you can see it since last year, a lot of alumni engagement activities have started, and we opened up chapters in US, Canada, the Middle East, Australia. Now we're planning to open up a chapter in UK too. So a lot of activities happening, and a lot of alumni are enthusiastic to participate, give back something to the university. And we see is very, very encouraging, so that he wants that the alumni also should keep progressing. They should also network amongst each other. They should have a lifelong learning experience from the university. Whatever the university can offer, we should give it out to the alumni. So all these things will keep now be on the rise itself. So it's a great thing. So anytime you come to India, anyone, you're most welcome to come and visit the university, have your batch get-togethers and do whatever you want. So all that is now very much welcome. So this will keep continuing, and this was my message. And students, please be very, very attentive, ask intelligent questions, because this is an opportunity, and this will come purely from experience which they have gained and over the years. So this will be first-hand information. So this has got gold value. So please take it seriously. Listen carefully, ask questions, and clarify your doubts. Thank you so much, Mr. Angad and Finu ma'am, and over to you. And thanks to Ranju Matthew for organizing this, and the Kusuma for heading this, and emceeing for today. And great going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words that beautifully capture the spirit of today's session and the larger mission behind the Alumni Global Connect. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished resource person for today. We're delighted to have with us Mr. Angad Singh, founder and CEO of Teqfocus, a visionary leader and entrepreneur, and above all, a proud alumnus of Christ Deemed to be University, MBA batch of 2011. Mr. Singh's professional journey exemplifies the value of resilience, innovation, and global engagement that Christ nurtures in its students. His extensive experience in business leadership, technology solutions, and his active involvement in fostering industry network positions him uniquely to share valuable insights with us today. The topic of his presentation, Networking and Industry Engagement in US Business World, will shed light on strategies, practices, and lessons that are especially crucial for professionals navigating today's competitive and interconnected environment. With great enthusiasm, I now invite Mr. Angad Singh to take us through his session. Handing over to you, sir.
Thank you, Gushma. Really appreciate the introduction. Thanks, Jagdish sir, for setting this up from the college. Thanks, Finu ma'am, Ranju ma'am, and everybody else out there, which I'm not sure if I can see all the names right now, but I'm happy to see at least 33, 30 plus people coming down on Friday evening. I'm Angad Singh. I also shortened my name a bit. If you guys are looking for LinkedIn, it's Andy. But in either ways, I'm still an Indian, born in India, raised in India, and moved to Bay Area now. So it's near San Francisco is where I live. Um, the journey of networking in global world of US really started in Bangalore, and I wanted to quickly share while I was putting the slides together. I asked my team to just put a few things out there, which it also includes Bangalore. So they put Bangalore name out there. But the fact of the matter is, in 2010, I had a internship time with one of the internship mentor who gave me an idea by taking me around in the Bangalore to some of the events that happened there, which included events of NASCOM, Thai, some there were not lot of startups back then, so there were not really a lot of startup events. But these events, which were industry related, CII, I believe. This led to me an idea that a lot can be achieved if we have a college alumni network, if we have industry know-hows and how the industry operates, and if we have certain mentors that we can learn from while we are building our careers in different paths, whether it is path of an engineering, whether it's part of an entrepreneurship, whether it's part of sales, marketing verticals, or just different roles that we all will end up into in our life after we graduate from the college. So my journey has been learning some of these when in college, doing internships, working with a network of alumni within the college, and also talking to a lot of alumni when we were hosting alumni networking events in the college itself. And our professors, our father at that time was very supportive. Um, and we were able to put some of these events in Bangalore in Christ University, and I was leading the alumni network then. So with that, I was able to already get an idea of our network within the college was not only in India, it was global, and I could always find someone beyond Bangalore to talk to on one single platform which was growing up there, which is LinkedIn. So my first introduction to the net ecosystem of corporate networking was through a platform called LinkedIn. I would highly appreciate if all of you, even if you have going to be in engineering, BA or a BBA or any of the financial courses, go find yourself, create a profile on LinkedIn, and talk to the other leaders in your ecosystem so that you get to know what was their path to success or to the growth or to the journey that they took. So that's the reason this introduction, when we were putting together, we said it's a global business opportunity if you network right. I'm taking into consideration that you've done your hard work in whatever field you're working in. You've got a good knowledge, you've got good pedigree of education, and now it's how do you grow beyond just doing your work. And one of that is having to network with people around in your ecosystem. So the alumni network itself is your global passport. I was able to fortunately take benefit of it in 2011 when I passed out from college. The first time I was able to leave India in and visit US was in 2014. It's been a decade over that. But I was able to use some of our alumni network, and beyond that, the pedigree that I'd learned in college, in Bangalore, in internships, to find a way to build a business that I now run. So that's a brief introduction of how your alumni network, how some of the areas that I'm going to show you today is going to help you in terms of understanding how to build this global network of your when you go outside college, but to start within the college time frame. Just to confirm, you guys are able to see my slides. I've just put one slide right now. I'm trying to now move to the next one. Are you guys able to see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now I'm trying to find a way to go to the next slide, but it's still not moving. So give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so it's going to be tricky. I need to,
Now we can see you came to
yes,
the
I
third
need to
slide.
make the screen smaller and then change the slide and go back. I'm not able to change it on the full screen, but we'll see. So uh, I would I would like to talk about, especially in US, because that's the topic of today. But I was fortunate enough to spend 5 years in Europe, and also fortunate enough to spend somewhere around 3 years in 4 years in Canada. But in last decade, after 2014, I was constantly coming to US and meeting people, networking, building a business here. When I look back, there were certain things that really doesn't change whether I do it in India or I would do it in Europe or US, Canada, any place. And some of these are not the facts that you can read in the books. You can learn from just looking at some videos. It really comes from practice, and that practice takes hard work. It takes a lot of efforts to identify where you put your energy on, who do you engage with, what do you want to achieve from it. So for me, as a corporate world, trying to scale a business that I started, which was Teqfocus, in terms of building a IT services and data and AI ecosystem, I needed to network and meet with people who are chief data officer, chief AI officers, CIO, CTO of mid-sized to large-sized companies, and showcase how we can help them transform some of their digital initiatives. That required me to identify and work in a particular ecosystem. Your path could be different. Your path could be you need to meet maybe chief finance officers, or your path could be that you want to climb the corporate ladder in which you are building your career, and how do you network with other leaders in your ecosystem that you want to go and find a job. Or it could just be you want to be finding opportunities in terms of investing, being part of the startup ecosystems. All of that could be different reasons on who you want to meet, but some of these two or three pillars, or the code doesn't change, the cheat code or the code doesn't change. And one of them is, of course, about um, really thinking about building a relationship and not just a transaction. And what I mean by that is there has been time and again that after building this career of mine and building a business, it was never about one-time transaction to meet someone to take out some business from that person. It was always about figuring out a way to genuinely connect with individuals, genuinely solve their problems, and keep in touch during course of time. And that is a reason some of these foundations that we put together in those relationships results in massive growth in what they want to do with you, or what they want to, where they see you as a trusted person or organization to support you in their roles and in their careers. So whenever you guys build those kind of relationships when you go out from your college or during the college, keep that in mind. It's never going to be you know a person, you get some promotions or business or engagements, and then you forget the person. If you really connect, if you really know each other well, you found where their family members live, what challenges they have, what individual growth, what corporate challenges they are having in growing. If you genuinely help them, they will help you back. So focus on relationship and not transaction. And that's the first thing in US is what we've learned, because we come from different country. We don't have a lot of existing network. So whoever we are able to network with, we focus on building a long-term relationship. The second is, which is a very important piece of it, is you cannot always every time call up people, email people, text people. Sometimes people just on back of their mind see certain notifications that could be on your Twitter, on your LinkedIn. I'm not on any of the meta platform beyond WhatsApp, so I don't use Facebook, I don't use Instagram anymore. It's been 5 years I've not been active on that platform. So you need to find a platform in which you genuinely want to engage with the audience that you want to connect with. And not constant. If you have, let's say, 200, 300 people that you want to be in touch with, you cannot text, email, message them every time. But if you have a viewpoint on something, which is a product, a service, or engagement, or wherever you feel yourself suitable in, you need to post it out there and show your visibility and show that you are one of the thought leader or have an opinion on that particular topic. And then people will be able to see it. And I'll give an example. Um, we we run a lot of events, and not after 10, 15 years of doing this, I cannot be in touch with everyone at every moment of time, but I met someone after 5 years, and we just started to chat, we started to talk, and he started to tell us, hey, I saw you were in New York. You didn't tell me I was there at that time too. And I'm like, how do you know I was in New York? And I didn't know you were there in New York. So he said, I followed you on LinkedIn and you said you're traveling to New York for this conference. And um, uh, I thought we could catch up, but you didn't text me. So what I realized at that moment of time is it's we're not always posting to show what we are doing in terms of selling our services or offerings. It's about showing that visibility that there is a information that you want to relate out in the world, and a lot of people consume it on back of their mind when they're scrolling through these information on platform, and it sticks by them some of these times. And you could be the purview of the people who are looking at some of these followers. You would follow Elon Musk, you would follow Trump, you would follow Modi, all of these people you follow around time. Sorry, Modi ji. And it just comes down to a point where you know what they're doing. So same way, if you're trying to network with people, try to have visibility and influence in certain platforms that they can see you, so that it's easy when you go back to them after a few years, they know something about you if they've seen you on the social media. So have that influence, post at least once a week, have your opinions there, post genuinely right things, and people will like you, will follow you, and it'll help you grow your network. And then the last is, it's always sometimes you have to be a little strategic over time. And luckily now you have chat GPTs and others of the world. 15 years ago, we didn't have any of those to really strategize on how can I build my personal network and brand. Who are the people should I talk to? Now you have a really smart AI tool sitting next to you to guide you through this journey, and that particular itself, it will help you build your right credibility. You will be able to post the right set of content and network with the right set of audience that you want to. In US, as you know, it's about, everybody talks about it, it's not always a transaction of selling a product or a service or your CV. It's about building that strong partnership where you are adding some value to the someone else, and that someone else is adding value to you. And the moment you're able to do that, you will have a long lasting relationship which will go beyond just four doors of an office or an event or a conference room. It'll go lifetime. And most of my today's customers are my family friends. They come to our events, they come to our home, and that's how they trust us to deliver large initiatives that they want to run in their companies, in their offices, and they rely on us to deliver those values because a lot of the times their job depend on it. If they give us work, if they give us engage with us to solve their problems, and if we screw up, if we mess up, most likely they'll be asked, why did you trust this company and not somebody else? And if they'll not be able to justify that with hard facts, they'll lose their jobs. So this is how close the relationship has to be when you're talking about building business in US with networking, and that can only happen over time, over right set of values that you bring to the table. So moving to the next topic, while I'm changing slides, if anybody has any questions, feel free to message it out there in the Google chat, and I can look at it and keep trying to answer it during the course of slides. And if not, I'll take it up in the next one. All right. So I do want to briefly touch around, where do you start? Um, eh, there is no single answer to it. There are a few ways in where you can start. The one that I did during the college time was I genuinely looked after the alumni network. Um, it's tough. People have moved out of college for many, many years. They've got their life, they've got their family, they've got their work, they've got their own challenges. It's very hard for them to do a lot of engagement back in the college. But you still have a little bit of warm introduction when you talk to somebody from Christ, or when you talk to someone that had a pedigree, who had done some course in Christ, and then now they are living in any part of the world. And that could become a genuine way where you can reach out to them, not just for, hey, give me a job, hey, give me a business, hey, just engage with me for something, because they might be busy at that moment of time. It's about genuinely, if you have a very clear ask, that you want to articulate in a very shortest possible fashion and reach out to them. I have out of 100 reach outs that I did, I would say at least 70 of the reach outs got me a response. And that's the first starting point that you can take when you come to US or anywhere in the world to find out. And where can you find out? You can find out in LinkedIn. That's the best way to find out. And do with it warm introduction. It could be a LinkedIn message, it could be an email, and be very clear in what you are expecting. And if you expect something very big, it's not going to happen. You can all you can get is, and I said, get 5 minutes, 15 minutes of that particular person to answer any question that you might have. And once that happens, the relationship starts to get built. You can then go a little further to ask more. Right? It's very similar to like how your dating times, right? You cannot on the first day ask in the first hour of the day, hey, let's go on a date. What you ask is, hey, can we talk? What's your name? How was your journey in Christ? What are you doing these days? Here is what I'm trying to do, and would you be interested for us to discuss? So that's the way you do a soft introduction, and then it's important that um, uh, in Christ there is thousands and thousands of people coming out with a journey to learn and move on. If 50, 60, 100 of them reach out to any one of the Christite, it'll be overwhelming for them to respond and give them real value. So we accordingly find some people that we want to really engage with, work with them, and we are always looking at some side projects in which we can utilize some of the skill sets of people who have right now time and we are not having time. So those are fun projects or side projects, and sometimes we work with some of those guys. So same way, try to build that with the right mentor that you can find. If you're looking to build in core engineering, IoT aspect of it, so if I find a mentor who is ex-Christite now working in the IoT side, you're trying to build something on AI, trying to find a mentor who's doing something on AI, because you are very focused on what you want to do. That helps the mentor with some of your insights, and then at the same time you get the right set of inputs that you're looking for from the um, uh, Christite that you reached out to. Um, at the end of the day, it's eventually you will realize you will move into some industries in your early career, but eventually you'll be tailored into one or two industries. And I've seen it time and again. Some people move around industries, but a lot of them stick to a particular industry, whether it's healthcare, whether it's life science, whether it's banking, whether it is manufacturing. You tend to go down eventually into one industry. So try and find certain leaders in those industries. Whether you're looking at someone in manufacturing, so try and find someone who is leading the transformations of some of the manufacturing systems that you want to be in. If you want to be in IT, try and find a mentor that has done really good in last 10 to 20 years in just an IT field itself. And that way it just helps you in certain ways or the others to look at their career paths. I was genuinely yeah, lucky to find someone who could take some of the energy and the passion that I had in the college and guide me in some of those early days, and support us in some way or the other in telling how was their experience when they did this 10, 20 years ago. And those are few things. If you're able to find the right set of mentors to talk to them once a month for 15 minutes, you would be able to see that these add value in terms of what decisions you're trying to make. Nobody will be able to make decisions for you. Nobody will be able to just directly connect you for what you're looking for, but it all adds up, and these dots get connected once you put them together. And I never said it's easy. This is itself very time taking. It requires a genuine effort, and that's how the alumni network can come and facilitate as a first set of line of your entry point into networking in the any part of the world, but especially also in US. Okay, so I'll just bring up briefly on Teqfocus because last 12, 13 years have been primarily building this company and growing it. And part of my networking required us to, or me as a person and now the company to be doing this networking in US. And this is something all of you can take it as some of the checkpoints when you're looking for it. Because now I'm going to tell you about very specific things that I did for networking in the North American market, and how it helped us build the business over time. So we, eventually, it's the fact is you do business with people you trust and people you know, and you cannot just trust someone that has landed in the country few weeks ago, has no background, no house, no office, to just trust and give them large set of transaction business. So the earlier deals was all about meeting people in conferences, meeting people in events, trying to build that genuine trust, trying to tell about where I came from. So which city, which places I have been, where I have lived, and then trying to find some common ground of connection to say that there is something common between us, whether it's a culture, whether it is problems we're trying to solve in the world, whether it is interest of ours in terms of going on a hike or playing cricket. Um, that's the entry point of trying to find a common interest, and then genuinely trying to build a deal together in which that relationship can be flourished, and from there on building some set of credibility that we have the necessary set of credentials to help and support you to what problems you're trying to solve in your business, and then leveraging the ecosystem in which we operate. So you, and some of you I'm sure would have heard of a company like AWS, Amazon, or Salesforce CRM systems, or Snowflake database system. Those are some of the companies we've partnered with. We've built certifications, credibilities in terms of justifying that we have the right set of pedigree to build technologies around that. And then companies tend to trust us, people tend to trust us and start giving us business. And that's how it took me almost 5 to 7 years of genuine hard work of doing small transactions to now come to a point where we can look at large programs that we are transforming using some of these technologies and working for some of the largest companies in the world. And that took the time that now it's after 12 years, we have a team that is doing exponential networking, exponential business. But it all started from that very first piece of finding the common ground and finding the first customer from either the alumni network or certain common interest, and then going out to events and networking with them. Same way when you're looking for jobs, when you're looking for investing in startups, when you're looking for working with some other co-founders, whether you're looking to just network on finding what is next best for you for in terms of interest, it all starts with going out and meeting people. It cannot be sitting in the room. You might be lucky by finding somebody on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, but that will not be at exponential scale of building that relationship. It would come down to meeting people in person and going out of your home and going and networking. How do you find time, which events to go to, which whether it's costly, whether you can go free, all of that I've tried, tested. There's no single answer. Everything can be done, provided you hit and try. You figure out what is the best one suitable for your area of interest. And then from there on, if you're able to add value, it just grows. I'll give you an example. I went once to an event. I had no idea what they do, like no idea. They were into production, energy, and things like that. And 15 years ago, I had like no freaking idea of what they do. I showed up there and I looked like a dumb guy out there because I could not add any value to anybody. I could not have any meaningful conversation. I just could not engage with anyone. So there's no point of me sometimes just going to a random event where I'm not able to take the discussions forward. Same way on once you start learning on what's your skill sets, what areas you specialize in, where you can add value, you can able to then find the right events around that and go and network with people, and you will find genuine common interest of people, and then you will be able to exponentially scale those relationships to network and go from there. And over time, as you grow in your careers, you will have to be a little more generalist. You'll have to have ideas of broader pieces. You will have to network with and have deeper credibility and knowledge of variety of items. And that's where you will be able to go and at least have a first set of meaningful discussions while you're networking with someone. And later on, if you think that this particular relationship has to go on expand, you have to go deeper into that. Or as a company, I need to find internally in the company who can have more deeper conversations in that particular topic, and then bring those people in to engage with certain set of audience that I want to work with. So that's how some of the lessons in US comes into picture. They people out here love to talk about soft talks about everything in the world. whether it's politics, whether it's sports. Those two things are very common in any part of the world you go. So having opinions, having your good amount of knowledge in terms of different sets of sports played in the country and the politics and how it operates, it genuinely helps you to have first level of conversation beyond a very deeper topic that you would like to discuss with a person. So that's a lesson that you can kind of take from here when you have to come down to meet 5 6 people in the first round of your alumni network or your social and personal level, to then exponentially growing and expanding from 100 200 500 people that you know and you keep in touch with on a regular basis. Hopefully just a couple of more slides and then we're open for questions. uh, Looks like the slides are not moving now. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so now it's just the last slide, and I would appreciate if some of you guys have a questions. So we are on the last slide. Okay. So my final thoughts out here, and I know some of you guys have booked a much longer time, but I would appreciate some time just on Q&A, because this cannot be one stick fits all. This particular topic has a different set of intakes for everybody out there, what they want to achieve. But these are three major bullet points that you can take it forward here, which is you genuinely need to find certain mentors that understand US market. And if you have an interest to come to US market or Canada or UK, Europe, I've lived in all of those places, you need to find some people that can give you some idea of the landscape, can give you some idea of how the systems operate if you have not already done a research, and can give you a starting point. Now, whether that mentor is your bigger brother, your some uncle from the family that has moved here, or you find an alumni that you might have been in touch with, or you just come down here and meet somebody randomly on the ground and you hit together. And I'll give you an example. 2014, 15, I came down here. There was a conference of Salesforce in New York. I went to that conference. I met someone, and he just was from Delhi, immediately connected, talking, very jolly guy. And he took me to his home. And I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful country. We meet somebody from India who's been living here, and you meet him on the first day and he takes you home. And I went to his home. I was like, okay, I just want to meet more people, and if somebody's taking me home for dinner, why not? I went to his home, and then I realized the only reason among for everything else is his younger brother was of the same name as me, and that just connected with him so well that he said, "Let's go home." Went home, had dinner, and then after 10 years, he came and joined my company to lead some of the things. Spent a year with us, helped us grow further out, and then his previous boss called him back, so he went back, and we still are in touch. We still go and have a hangout, lunches and dinners. I meet his family, and we send gifts to each other. So this is how you can, and he's mentored me around because he was here for 10 15 years, in the IT ecosystem, working for the best of the brands in the world. So those are few things you just cannot beat it. There is genuinely good people in the world. There is, and it's not like I met the first person and this happened. By that time, I would have at least met 100 plus people in the conference, and everybody has a different story to tell. So this is a more of a story of a mentor, and it's not a mentor that you constantly talk every day, every week, every month. You genuinely just pick up a call on his birthday, on his kid's birthday, on Diwali, and maybe 5 6 times a year. And then you pick up a call and talk to the person and say, "Hey, how is business? How is work? Where are you working these days? What are the challenges? What are the customer you're working with?" And then he will tell about his story. And once he tells about his story, you just resonate. You learn from those, and then when you come in a similar situation, you pick up one of those information on how he did it, and then you decide whether that is the best way for you to do it in your way of engagement with your customers, your work life, your job, and everything else. And that just resonated on why I should be out there in the events, conferences, continue to network, to meet these nice, genuinely people. And it's not that I did not do it. The similar thing I reciprocated to somebody else who I just brought home, or took him out for a coffee, or took him out for a dinner or lunch, just because somebody else did that for me. So it's a ripple effect that you can also start once you go in that journey. Um, Similar fashion in terms of cross-border ventures and collaborations. I was very new to London. I spent some time in New York and then went back to London, where my wife was at that time. And again, I went to a conference. 8 o'clock in the morning, the conference would start. I was just in a year in the building the business, so I wanted to meet as many people as I could. And I met someone at 5:30 before the conference just finishes. So had I left by 3 o'clock, I mean, I do leave now at 3 o'clock because I have to go and pick up kids. But at that time, I don't have kids. I don't have anything. All my focus was to network and meet people and build a business. So I still genuinely remember this guy. He was at the last time, he was the last one in the conference. Maybe last 20, 30 people left after thousands left. And I was like, okay, just say hello to him, maybe, and then just head out. Um, and I went and said hello to him, and we started chatting. He said, "Hey, I recently got my whatever UK's green card is. I'm now off job. I'm trying to find a new role. I've spent 7, 8 years in London. I'm from Chennai, and everything else." And we just connected. We just started chatting, talking. And I said, "Hey, man, let's do some kind of business together. I don't know anybody in London. I've just landed here. Let's figure out to collaborate, partner. You introduce me around. I'll figure out a way we can work together on." And we partnered on few things, and that partnership led for at least 7 years of engagement. 7 years. As on today, we have got multiple business lines in UK, and it all started with him introducing me around to people I knew, I did not know, and he knew it. And we genuinely added value. We genuinely added value to him. We added value to his ecosystem, which was a telecom company, a non-profit company, an education company. And as on today, we do multi-million dollars of business in UK just because of that last 5 minutes of staying in that conference and meeting the guy. Next week, my team is flying to London to do a large board meeting with one of the telecom companies out there. So it's just, there is cross-border collaborations, there is engagements and opportunities that you just cannot imagine that can happen in this world by not by showing up there. Now, again, I do mean showing up there with the right set of conference events, but also at the same time finding what is your niche. You should have certain set of pedigree. Your team should have certain set of pedigree. If you're applying for a job, you should be qualified for that or overqualified for that. Then the networking helps. Because, for example, if somebody is applying for a job and they have like 100 people applying for it, if somebody picks you up, it will be networking or the relationship, but it cannot be that you are underqualified than the rest 99. You need to be qualified for what they're supposed to be, and then of course you have those networking that can help you get to the point where you get selected over rest 50 qualified similar to you. So that's the collaboration. And then there is one more very interesting story, and I think with that I'll come down to engagement of the chapters and things like that. So um, same interesting story out there is in London in 2015. um, I get a call from my team in India that we've got this customer, we're not very sure. It's somewhere in Mauritius, and they're being a little difficult. We've never met them. We're doing a small business with them, but they're doing big promises. They're doing big promises. Um, uh, we'll do wonders for you, but we're raising funds. We're not having a lot of funds to pay right now. You will have to give us some free engagements for 3 months or so, and then once the fund is raised, we'll pay you. And we were still small. We were just like 40, 50 people team that time. And I'm like, what should we do? I don't know. So the best way to do is go and meet them. I believe it was pretty cold that time in London, and I called up the customer over a Zoom or something. I don't think Zoom was there. It was some other tool, and I said, "Hey, I want to come down and meet you, and then see if we can do the business together for what you're asking to do." It was a 12 hours flight from London to Mauritius. I took a single flight, stayed there for 2 days, met the folks, teams, everything, and flew back. Um, and um, Ranju ma'am, if you don't mind, I'll just mute you.
Ranju, can you mute your this one?
1 minute.
Okay. So when I went there, I saw this was a company being formed there, which was into education, building up their premises. They had big investors across the board. I think Bill Gates Foundation was part of the investments. They were just having transaction issues. They could not pay right now because the funds were not in their accounts. But genuinely, they were genuines. Everything else. I met a guy there who was leading their engagement, and from this story, I just want to tell about pure networking. Um, this guy and us just hit out. Very nice. He's a very nice guy, American guy living in Africa, and have always been lived there. We just connected very well. He assured me that your payments will come in. Just put the people, because we need to set up an application system for students to enroll and every technology that is required. And in house, they don't have talent. They need us, and they would like to do it. So I took a leap of faith. There was nothing to lose. If we did not work for him, we had no other business to go and do it. It's not like we were saying no to other customers. And as on today, it's been 11 years. They're still our customer. Up and down, big and small. We did sometimes large, but if I look at the total value for 10 years, it's still huge. And especially when we needed those kind of small customers. Beyond that, and that one trip of 2 days, where you go for 12 hours just to spend a lunch or a dinner. And again, I don't do this very often now. At that time, it's not like I'm no more hungry. It's just my time is valuable somewhere else, and my team now travels. But At that time, it was all needed. I took the cheapest flight, reached there, took the cheapest hotel, ate the cheapest food, treated the customer with nice bottle of whiskey. I don't entertain all of those nowadays, but at that time I thought that's the best gift you can give to someone in Mauritius, and then came back. Um, Two things came out: business as on today, and then engagement as on today, relationship as on today. But the guy moved out. He moved to another place. He introduced us. We got business there. He moved to another place. He introduced, gave us business. Whenever he would travel to US, I would sponsor his events, conference tickets. I would meet him in certain places. For 10 years, in different parts of the world, we at least met 3 or 4 times. But for the relationship that lasted 10 years, he would send me photos of his kids being born in Finland, where his now wife is from. And all of this story would come together only because I took that leap of faith of 12 hours of flight to go and meet someone in Mauritius where I've never been before. The funny story is I came back all tanned, and looking really burned out because it was hot there. And people are asking me, where did you go for a day or two that you got so tan? So things happen to you when you do that things. So long story short, um, go out there, meet people, find genuine connection, have genuine relationships that you want to keep, and collaborate with people in which you can add value. And these stories will keep coming in your life. You will be able to tell these stories to someone else, and then somebody else will be able to tell stories to someone else. And eventually you will see the dots get connected. Now, I'm today only touching the topic of collaboration, networking, engagement, mentorships. This is only one set of the story. You, again, I will emphasize, is need to be academically good, need to have a niche in which you have a skill set that you can compete with others. Find the right set of knowledge area that you want to grow and learn from, because just empty networking will not give you anything. If you cannot really add value, and just meet people, you'll not have the next set of connection and relationship to go after. People will help you once, but in return, they will not ask, but it is a responsibility of yours to help back. And if you really don't do that because you have nothing to offer to help back, and it's not about money, it's not about just going and having a fun of a drink or a coffee with them. It's about genuinely adding value. And I'll give an example, which is last example, and I'll close it out here. Is there's a friend of mine who has become a friend, and he's from a company that is having massive layoffs in US. And then I have another person who is a customer of ours, and I been working with him for last 5 years. I genuinely wanted to help this guy, and I helped him out by introducing him to that customer, and he's now in the job interview of getting hired in that particular account because he's good in what he does. But in all of this, I didn't expect anything in back. In return, he introduced me to two of his friends that are not having a job opening positions, but have certain work for my business that we can add value to. And I then passed it on to my team to go and engage and see if there is a business out there. So when I say you network and you introduce people around, you collaborate, it's important that you give something before you even ask sometimes. Okay, so that's the last part of it. There's so many stories. I would love to open the forum for um, just genuine Q&A if you guys have, and maybe I can tell something from my memory lane out there, and then add it up to that one. So with this, I will officially stop my presentations. I'll open up for questions. So from the student batch, does anybody have any questions? I'm more than happy to see if I can answer it. Yeah, go ahead, Neha.
My name is Neha, and I found this webinar from the Alumni Network. So it was really insightful, the session altogether. And one question I had right now, I'm just started working. And when I interact with people within the team, people like senior managers and all of them, there's one thing that I face is the age gap. So when I get in topics like, as you mentioned, there are those common interests that we tap into. Even after that, there's this ice that it's hard to break. Like just trying to network with them is a bit hard than people from my age group. So I just want to know your insights on how I could just overcome that.
Yeah, I think Neha, that's first is to realize that there's a genuine gap, right? If somebody is 15, 20 years, 5 years, 7 years elder to someone of you, there's some set of gap that needs to be fulfilled. So one is to realize that there is one, and then two is to understand what do you want to achieve by engaging with these people. Do you want to engage just to be in the good books? Do you want to engage just so that they know your name? Do you want to engage that you can later on when they look for appraisals, appreciations, your name come in there, and then they just have a little bit of soft corner? All of that could be in one category. And then the other is you genuinely want to learn something from them, that they have certain experiences that can add value to you. You genuinely want to learn from that experience. And two is you have something genuine, which is from your work status or your previous experience of studying and working, that can add value to them. And once you identify that as an overlap, you would be able to have the conversation in that particular area. And from there, it will start to move. And I'll give an example. Um, I met somebody recently a few months ago. He was in between jobs. I meet a lot of people, like senior executives that are in between jobs, because that's the time they have some free time that they can engage with us. Because in the jobs they're traveling, they've got roles to fulfill. They'll only meet you. They don't want to waste my time because we've built relationships. So they'll try to avoid meeting me. But when they're between the jobs, they have most time to meet. So I met somebody very senior, of at least 15, 20 years older to me, because I've been in the Valley for 30 years and things like that. I just heard about this guy in one of the conference that we run. So eventually, after being in so many conferences, we started running conferences. It's called the CXO conference. And I met someone who talked about this guy and said, this guy has been laid off from this company. And we should try to talk to him. He's a nice guy. I said, okay. I reached out to him. He was free. He gave me time. Um, and there was nothing to talk. I had like nothing overlap to talk beyond. He's an Indian guy, but he can talk in Thai. He was in Thailand for a while. He could talk Thai and loves Thai food and loves Thai coffee. And apparently, I've been to Thailand. I like Thai too. My kids love Thai, and we eat Thai. I don't talk Thai language, but I studied in a school where there were a lot of people from Thailand, and that just resonated. That is one point that resonated, and it took me at least 2 3 weeks to get his meeting. It took me at least first 15 20 minutes to understand where is an overlap, and then from there on, today when I text him, I just say, hey, how about some Thai food and Thai coffee? That's it. I don't even text him about how is your work. He's back into job, and I've been trying to get a time with him. Nothing else we talk about. So um, there's another very funny story. I did a 1.5 year work in a company. If you guys want to look, you can look it up in LinkedIn. But that my boss was also at least 25 years older than me, and I was into some partnership roles in that company. It was very hard to get in good books of my boss at that time, in 2011 12. um, but it was fun. We could figure out a way to overlap on one or two topics, and I would get his peace of mind in some of those areas. And I realized he just loves to share some of his stories of where he worked and how from certain roles he's grown to become a manager of 20 30 people in that office. And we would just be happy to get his time share of listening to those stories. So it's different for each person. If I would say, target a person, try to understand what is of area of interest, and then from there take it on. Okay, I hope that helps,
Thank
Neil.
you. Yes, it was insightful. Thank you.
You. Yes, Sharon. I have one more hand raised if somebody wants to ask. No? Is there anybody else out there? I know most of your questions will be from job. Yes, Veer Khanna.
Hi, sir. I seem to have joined the meeting a bit late, but what I did catch was really helpful and insightful. I do have a few questions. I'll just throw them out there. Um, so basically, in your view, what role does personal branding play in the networking scene today? And the second one would be, how do you see networking evolving with AI, and like how these digital events are becoming the new norm?
Okay, I'll try to keep it short, Veer, because some of it I've covered, but
Yeah.
I will definitely answer some of these pieces from a different angle. So let me pick up the digital AI world of networking, because that's something I did not cover a lot. Um, it's something to be used as an opportunity for people to create a personal brand. It's much easier right now if you learn how to use AI with prompt engineering and context engineering, and create a brand of yours in terms of the content that you create, um, because it's easier for you to create it now. When I was writing these content, and if I look back my content 10 15 years ago, it's I would not go back and read it. But now my contents that I publish has become much more polished. I'm able to generate those every week. I'm able to share it with my opinion, and broadcast it to larger set of audience. So it's a it's a tool to be used for your advantage, for exchanging certain ideas in the world. There also you need to find a differentiation, because everybody's reading AI content. So how is your content different than anybody else? And that is a differentiation you will have to create by adding those set of values in that content, from personal experience, from personal opinions, and from audience that you want to touch, to see what is their area of interest. Like, for example, one of the content we are right now actively publishing and wanting to engage is, how is AI going to change enterprise businesses? And that's a content we can just search in Google, and there's hundreds of material. But how can we differentiate our set of content than everything else out there? Um, Regarding the events and virtual events always existed. It existed during our time also. We There is two sets of opinions. So some of our people attend those virtual events, and then if they want to reach out to um, speakers of those events, they write to them that, hey, I heard you in the event. This is some of the opinions you gave. We love those. These are our opinions. Would love to get in touch with you. That's how you can use it to your advantage. I do not have a lot of bandwidth right now to attend virtual events, so I don't do that a lot. I still go to some of the personal events. It's just commute is becoming a trouble, so I don't go to a lot of them. But I try to be at least twice or thrice a month in a in-person event, which is almost roughly once a week. I meet with a lot of my customers directly so that I get the insight that I'm looking from that particular aspect of it. Earlier, when I didn't have customers, I had to go to these events to meet people, to know and network with them and learn from their experiences. Today, everybody has an opinion on AI in the enterprise world, and that opinions don't really matter until and unless they are actually working and investing their time in building AI solutions for companies that we work with. Um, so that's the reason I'm spending more of my time with our end customers, which are investing in those AI solutions. So to summarize it, personal branding is easy with AI. Personal branding is very important, and you have to differentiate yourself among others using AI tools. Virtual events are good if you want to get in touch with someone. Like for example, and please, if I cannot respond to everyone, if one of you guys reaches out to me and say, "Hey, I heard you on this webinar. Um, Great on this topic. This is my area of interest. Connect, and I would like to connect you on LinkedIn." Most likely, I will accept your LinkedIn, right? Especially if you're an alumni from Christ. Same way, if you go and attend an event next week or sometime next week, is an event happening from Zoom. Zoom is doing their virtual event. It's a free event. There are a bunch of speakers out there. You go and attend those events, and then you talk about to the speaker, you write and say, I heard you on the EPA event. This is the topic you talk on. I would like to connect. You'll be able to network and connect with that person. So those are some of the advantages you can take off in terms of virtual events. Hope that answers Veer.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Veena ma'am.
Four things. One is it okay if we remove the slide so you can see more people on the screen? If
Perfect,
it's
ma'am.
okay.
Thank you.
Second is don't forget to take a screenshot of whoever is available. So we have something for our newsletter and something for us to put on our website, etc. I'm sure Ranju's on it. The third thing is a piece of advice for students, perhaps, that, like Angad mentioned, it starts in your space networking. And Christ is the most diverse campus that I have found. Diverse not just in terms of religion or culture, also physically. Which other campus can boast of being so inclusive? I really doubt. You have ramps for people on wheelchair. You have people who are sitting beside you who have not seen a big town at all in their lives. Connect with each and every person that you think is available in your ecosystem, especially in your classroom. And if you think you can keep a goal of uh, at least having 5 people who you did not know when you entered the campus on your network at the end of the year, at the end of your course or program, that makes you a little more motivated to reach out. And the fourth and last thing that I have for Angad is, what is something that backfired, misfired? You thought this is going to work as a networking tip, but you fell on your nose. Something that you think you want to celebrate as a failure, because that's something that we need to also share. What didn't work?
I
Am I
think
making sense?
yeah, I shared one of those. Like I was less prepared for an event where I went and I could not add value and wasted a lot of my time. But I think the only thing which I can look back to say is time is very valuable. So when you're networking, it's like fishing. You're putting a large set of net and you're trying to see if you can catch some fishes in terms of relationships, jobs, careers, whatever, mentorships. But if there is something, if I can look back and say, um, if I would have not gone very broader, um, I, I mean, I don't want to boast about being. I mean, and now when I look back, it is not the right thing to do to go to so many countries and try to network. It's not fruitful. Focus on one particular set of region and try to wait for the ripple effect or a tipping point. If you have not read the book, please read the book Tipping Point. Wait for the tipping point to happen, and for the tipping point to happen, it requires to be in a small regional network. So it can be in just in California, or it can be just in New York. It doesn't have to be Toronto, New York, Atlanta, California, London, Netherlands, 50 different states and cities. And then you try to find one person to meet, and then you network with that person, and nothing happens as a ripple effect or tipping point. So my piece of, if I look back, and that's the reason I'm very much focused on personally spending my time in California. And then I have team. There's a team in Chicago, there's a team in Toronto, and everywhere else, by London. But my personal time on my side is now being spent a lot in California, also because it's the largest economy from IT and everything else. So as Finiman said, focus a lot in Christ. If you're in Bangalore, when I was growing up in Bangalore, in college, in Christ, there was a lot of opportunity. Now I can't even imagine in 15 years what would have changed in Koramangala to HCL to other places. There would be like 100x more opportunities just to do in Bangalore. I remember I did 5 internships. There was KPMG, there was a bunch of small individual startups, there was Hero Motor or Hero Honda at that time. I did all those one months of internship with them, just being in Bangalore where there were no startup opportunity. So if you can find a real niche and network in your area to start off with, and do virtuals in somewhere else that you want to be, like in US, go attend virtual events. That is a good starting point, and a learning that I can take is be regional focused and try to get the tipping point.
Thank you. Perseverance pays, right?
It does. All right. I know we are early, but I would rather take that and then we overtime. So if anybody has one last question, if not, I would love to have some closing remarks, and we can call this a day.
Thank you, sir, for answering all those questions. As we come to the conclusion of today's webinar, let me take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Angad Singh for taking time to connect with us, for sharing his valuable experiences and insights. Your thoughts and experiences have certainly provided us with deeper perspectives on networking and industry engagement, which many of us can relate to and apply in our own professional journeys. To the mentor of US chapter, Ms. Sinu Mary Jose, who is seamlessly coordinating and heading all the initiatives from the US chapter. Reverend Dr. Joe C.C., Vice Chancellor, and Reverend Dr. Viju P.B., Pro Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Josie T., Director, Bannerghatta Campus, for their vision and leadership that constantly guide and inspire alumni initiative at Christ. To Brigadier Jagdish for his encouragement and for laying a strong foundation for alumni engagement across the globe. To Ms. Ranju Matthew and Professor Rishikesh KB, whose dedication and coordination behind the scenes made today's event possible. To all the student coordinators for organizing this initiative and webinar. And finally, to all our alumni, faculty, and participants who've joined us today and made this chapter of Christ Alumni Global Connect webinar series, US chapter, a resounding success. This is only the beginning of many more such enriching exchanges to come. We look forward to your continued participation and support in building stronger bridges across borders through the Christ Alumni Network. On that note, we formally bring today's session to a close. Thank you all.
I have a few points to say.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Angad and Finu ma'am. Great talk. Excellent talk with a lot of experience into it, a lot of tips. I hope the students who are actually interested take this. And I'm going to get in touch with Angad to find out what he did for the alumni networking here when he was here, so that our alumni office will benefit from that. I'll tell the present student coordinators there to do similar things, because we need a lot of work which has to happen in the alumni area. Because before it became a university, the kind of data we just don't have. Like we don't have categorized data where we can, target certain categories of people for certain work. So we just randomly, looking into a WhatsApp groups and other things. So I will definitely get in touch with you, what strategies you used and how we can take this initiative of networking for the alumni in the college possible. So great points you brought out, like having mentors, that is very important. So that is where the alumni can come in, be mentors to our students, various things. So that is another field which we are now looking at. And then, of course, collaborations and taking a leap of faith. That happens with a lot of experience and a lot of things. And then when you do that, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to do that. You have to take risks and then get into it. And most of the time, with your experience and with the right intention, you'll generally succeed. So that is one point really I liked. So great going and very nice talk. I was really, it helped me a lot. Though I am in a retired army officer, but it will definitely help me in my role as a director of alumni engagement and also for placements and career guidance. Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Thank you very much.
Sir, I have an army background. We'll talk some more time. My brother is a doctor in Indian Army. We all studied in Army school, so there's a lot of background in that.
Okay. That's great. That's great.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate everyone for taking our time today. Have a nice weekend and keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Thank you, Kusuma. Good going.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kusuma.